Okay. Alright. So today we're playing Zombie Army 4. I know I usually stream Genshin Impact at the weekend, but I thought I'd do something a little different today. I'll probably stream Genshin Impact tomorrow unless you want to see somewhere else. But yeah, I thought I might as well do this, and I apologise. I was gonna stream like at the weekend, and I was probably gonna do it, Monday and yesterday as well. However, I was just incredibly busy with all sorts of really important stuff, and I wasn't able to stream, so I do apologise, but I will be streaming today, tomorrow, Friday, and then of course at the weekend, so hopefully that'll make up with it, and I'll probably get some videos posted as well. So I am sorry for that, forgive me, but I'll do my best to try and make up for it.
The Nazi war machine was on its last legs, hammered on all sides by Allied forces. After so much sacrifice, so much horror, it seemed the world would wake at last from its nightmare. Instead, Hitler woke the dead. The Allies didn't stand a chance. Hitler's trolls were tireless, numberless, merciless. They came from everywhere. Nowhere was safe. But we formed a resistance, and we fought on despite the odds. The Dead War, we called it. After months of brutal losses, a volunteer squad turned the tide. They cast Hitler into another world, cutting the head from the snake. And yet still the war rages. Even with no leader and no purpose, the dead roam the earth in swarms 1,000,000 strong. And us? Well, we're taking the world back, one bullet at a time.
Okay.
Something must be up with the radios. Better get back there before Bruno blows a fuse.
Okay, what do I say? This is the sort of game you'd probably play with your friends and stuff like that. So there'd be 4 of you or so, because that makes it more interesting. And you'd probably get more points that way. But I don't have many friends. Well, that and, well, I mean, at this time they're busy anyway. But you know, whatever. So I play it on my own, but it's fine. So I do most things, although I do like to try and play with others when I can. And before you ask, yes, I am using like modified stuff from like the later game, so my weapons are upgraded and all that instead of being base level like they usually would be. But honestly, it doesn't really affect that much. Like, these guys would die on one headshot and one or two body shots by any weapon really, so the fact that these are upgraded makes no real difference here, and it probably won't do down the line either, honestly. The zombies are pretty weak. The only reason they'd ever be a threat to you is their sheer numbers, because especially like in the later game, they'll come at you by like the hundreds. But, you know, since this is like the very beginning, like basically the tutorial, it is not in the slightest bit difficult, so I wouldn't worry.
Just locked down, you know? Doors are supposed to stay shut.
Lockdown.
All right, open up.
Welcome back. Good to see you're still in one piece.
What's with the lockdown? What happened?
The brass issued an evac order. We're getting out of this dump. Go talk to Bruno, who's been waiting.
Ah, grazie. You're alive.
Hello, Bruno.
What took you so long, eh? I thought we'd have to leave without you.
Sorry, no such luck. What's all this about anyway?
Orders came this morning. Milan's not safe anymore, so we're pulling out. Or we were, until the damned radios went down. Think you could help? Go upstairs and take over from Jack. Then we'll get you to your train.
I'll see what I can do.
Ah, you, hello there. You see the radio mast? Damn husks are all over it, and they just won't stay still. Maybe you could clear them out, eh?
I swear these things get dumber every day. Stand aside.
Ah, merci whenever you're ready. Just aim and squeeze, mon ami. Très bien, look out! Search marksmanship, c'est magnifique! Amazing, you have the eye of war. Mon ami, you are a true hero, a lifesaver. I thank you.
Doesn't really match the voice.
Testing. Ah, thank the heavens it works. Now that's done, report to medical for a quick checkup. Then we'll see about getting you to your train. Eh?
Oh, if it isn't the best kill squad in all of Italy. I trust you are being careful out there, yeah? Here, take a med kit. Never know when you might need fixing up.
Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it.
Of course, like I said, you'd probably have a team of people. But like I said, yeah, I played by myself. I'm a bit of a loner, no big deal.
Allora, now comms are back up and running. It's time we got you out of here. Head to platform 5. There's a train waiting for you there.
Copy that. Thanks, Bruno.
Hey, what's up, man? Come to take some pot shots at the dead man, have you?
Not really, no. Just exploring.
Hey, Hotshot, come here. You see this here workbench? You can use it to switch your old weapons for nice shiny new ones. Don't be shy. Try it out.
I'd rather not. I'm happy with what I've got.
Provided you have the right balance.
Another earthquake. Becoming more frequent. That's the 4th today. Go on. You better get to that train before this whole damn place collapses.
How unfortunate. Don't you know to stop at the platform?
No. Kill confirmed.
The thing about this game is if you enjoy, you know, killing stuff or whatever, you'd obviously enjoy it, since that's literally the entire game. Killing stuff.
That's it.
What the hell is going on?
Bruno, a train full of zombies just crashed through the wall. Not husks, real zombies. The station's under siege.
Bastardo. No time to waste. Forward to the station and get to that train. And look out for spiders as you go.
Let's go. It'd make more sense if you played, you know, through from, you know, 1 to 4, because obviously you'd understand more of the story then and all that kind of stuff, instead of starting, like, on, like, the last one. But, whatever. You know, if you want to watch,
Coming off the train.
videos of, like, the old ones or play them, then you can do that. Hey, how's it going, mate? You alright? You doing alright, mate? I'm fine, yeah. I was just saying earlier about, you know, apologies for not, you know, uploading or streaming or anything the past couple of days. Just been really busy, you know. Life always likes to throw a wrench into the works and just make your life hard. But what can you do?
Damn it, it's a blood seal. That's bad news.
You remember how to deal with them, yes?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that, you know, it's... the whole point with YouTube is, you know, you need to keep up and do it regularly and stuff, otherwise you'll not get very far. But yeah, I know life comes first, of course, and I do, of course, prioritise that over YouTube, but I still like to, you know, make sure I upload regularly and stuff, because obviously if I don't upload often and stuff like that, then there'll be nothing for people to watch, so then people will stop watching, of course. It's just, you know, well, I mean, one of the reasons I haven't been able to upload often is because I've been busy with, you know, my college life and all that, because it's getting to that point where obviously 1 year's nearly up, so then you move on to another, and you know, it's just sort of chaotic, and you know, I'm doing this at the other, and then when I'm planning to, you know, I'm like, oh, I've got some time this afternoon, I'll do some recording or do some streaming or whatever, and then suddenly something comes up, and then I suddenly have no time left. It's annoying, but not much I can do. Alright. Terrible aim, this guy. How can you not hear when you stood perfectly still?
That's a suicide.
Suiciders! No!
There's more. Suicider down. I'm on a roll.
That's like a long...
Not this time.
in the arm. And the lungs. Other ribs.
Target down.
So, what have you been up to over the past couple of days?
The suiciders are back. That's 7. This will
I've seen your past videos in that. So I've got plenty of interesting stuff. And feel sorry for you having to deal with Cicero as well. And in the safe room.
Just got through to HQ. Almost all fortified positions are reporting surprise attacks. This is not an isolated incident. It's a coordinated assault.
Don't know how you can like Cicero, but whatever.
Where the hell did they come from?
I don't know. All surviving units are being ordered to fall back and regroup. Once we're safe, then we can start asking questions.
Yeah, but still, I just hate him.
Squad. HQ needs you ready for action.
Hey, Hotshot. I see you found a weapon attachment. They're one-time use, but they should give your guns some added oomph. Have fun.
Thanks. Keep that in mind. Not bad. Stay down. Damn, it's dark down here. Flood up too. I don't like this. Damn it, they're in the water. Kill confirmed.
Go headshot, nice. And I missed that last one, of course. I'm assuming this isn't your type of game, killing thousands of undead.
Pass over the bridge and you'll be on platform 5. The train is waiting at the signal house.
Wolfenstein's alright, and so is, you know, Doom and all that. I mean, I have absolutely nothing against them. I've played, you know, Wolfenstein and Doom myself. You know, I also like apocalypse games and stuff like that, but I suppose when it comes to, you know, zombie apocalypse games, I prefer, honestly, sort of open world exploration. You find supplies, you craft stuff and all that.
Suicide.
I don't mind, you know, this kill thousands of zombies, sort of horde after horde stuff, but I do prefer it when there is, you know, a proper world to explore and, you know, side quests or whatever, people to help and stuff. That's personal preference. And yeah, Wolfenstein, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad game, because it's not. I just found it a little sort of strained in some departments, I guess.
I thought we was done for. I know it's not much, but please, take this. It should help you out.
Thank you.
Wait till it's safe. You get out of here.
Save both of them. Nice. Well, I mean, RPGs are probably one of my favourites, I would say, as well as sort of adventure stuff. Because, I mean, I like role-playing games where, you know, in a fantasy world or whatever, you can be in another world, you can be another person and stuff like that, be a hero or whatever. That's, you know, something I do enjoy. But yeah, I do also enjoy bigger open world adventure stuff. Yeah, Tomb Raider's good. I've played quite a few of the Tomb Raider games, and I do enjoy the sort of, you know, exploration and stuff, as well as, like, because it's sort of, you know, you go through and it's sort of, I guess, it's a bit of a puzzle sort of thing, to an extent. And then, of course, the newer ones also had a lot of, you know, combat and exploration and, you know, side quests and stuff, which was cool as well. But yeah, I mean, I sort of, I don't know, I do sometimes change, you know, there'll be just a time or so when I just love playing a certain type of game. And then I do eventually, you know, there are times when I'll switch up and play someone else. Because, yeah, puzzle games are interesting to a point, and I did enjoy them at one point. But, you know, it's also sort of, I don't want to say it's necessarily like an age thing. As I've gotten older, my preferences have changed, because there are plenty of stuff that I have liked playing for years. But I mean, it's just sort of, there are some games which I can play for 7, 8, 9 years and still enjoy, and then there are those that after a while just become less entertaining to play and they become more of a bore since I've played them for so long. But, you know, it's, and again, it was, you know, stuff like that was alright. And I mean, these days, I suppose, I do also enjoy playing, sort of, how do I put it, it's, you know, anime games, so games based off animes or whatever, because it's also something I do find interesting as well, to that extent, because, of course, if it's sort of a fantasy fake world or whatever, you know, you can do more interesting stuff, because, I mean, I don't know, sound boring when I say this, but more realistic stuff obviously has its limits, because, you know, if a game's realistic, then that's great, because obviously it feels more like real life, but, you know, I just, I prefer playing, you know, more fantasy stuff, I guess, just otherworldly exploration or whatever, that kind of thing. But yeah, I enjoy this game to a point of just running around killing thousands of zombies is entertaining, but to a certain point, I guess. I wouldn't do it for too long, so obviously once I've completed the game once or twice, I'll probably stop playing it, but, you know, it is interesting, I guess. Will do.
Now there's a damn flamer?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of obviously, you know, a person's preference obviously will, you know, everybody has a game they like or don't like or whatever, and that's not something I have a problem with, but it's, you know, there are some games that I can play, like I said, for years, and then there are those that don't last too long, I suppose. They can be entertaining to play through the first time, and once you've done, you know, the main story or the quest, or you've explored the world or whatever, they become, you know, not as interesting because you've seen what there is to see. It's sort of that, you know, once you've seen one, you've seen them all sort of thing. It's sort of like that. You've done it once, and it was fun, but that's it. It was fun the first time you did it, but now you know what's going to happen and stuff. And then there are those games, you know, where there are so many things to do, like Skyrim, you know. I've played it for a long time, and I've done so much, and yet I can almost guarantee there's probably at least a few quests that I've never done before, one or two people I've never met, a bit of lore that I've never heard of before, you know, so who knows, you know, this kind of game will last a week or two, complete it 2-3 times, get loads of achievements and then that's it, it's done. But, you know, there are plenty of games I will play for a long time, and there's also strategy games. I do enjoy strategy games and stuff like that as well, especially sort of real-time strategy. I mean, I do like playing turn-based as well, but real-time sort of makes it more interesting for me, I guess, because, you know, it's not that difficult if you can sit there for an hour on the same screen and just plan out all the different scenarios or whatever for how you do something. But if it's happening in real time, and, you know, you'd have to pause the game to think of something, you can't just, you know, wait to do your turn or whatever, because there are plenty of turn-based games that are interesting, of course, but I do prefer real-time strategy. Like, my favourite game of all time is a game I've been playing for 10-11 years now, and despite I've been playing it for like over a decade, it is still like my favourite game of all time, and I love playing it. So of course, you know, it's obviously interesting. Yeah, it's because, I mean, again, everyone has their own preference, so of course there are some games people say, yeah, okay, but don't want to play it more than once. And then those who would say that game's one of my favourites and I could play it for day after day for hours on end and, you know, never lose interest. So it is personal preference, but also, you know, I do prefer stuff where you can do things, you know, for the first time. Like, you know, if there's, say, different routes, so if there's options, so multiple endings, depending on what you choose to do, the outcome will be different. Because there are some games where it allows you to make choices, but at the end, it will end the same no matter what you do. So you cannot change the outcome. And to me, that's boring. Because,
it wasn't just Milan.
You know, if you can't change the outcome, once you have got that ending, that's it. You have gotten the end, you know, of the game. You have seen all there is to see. So what are you going to do now? It's boring, but whatever. It's sort of, again, matter of opinion. But, you know, there are, like, I have friends who, you know, ask me what kind of games I like playing or whatever, and then I tell them, and then they say, oh, I don't like that sort of game, that's boring, why do you play that? It's like, that's your opinion, you know, and that's fine, you want to have an opinion, that's not a problem, but don't, you know, complain about my opinion, because, you know, it's my opinion, so I can say what I want. So of course you're the sort of person who literally plays Skyrim all the time, because that's the kind of game you're interested in. Yeah, and of course there are those people who play one game, or perhaps one series, you know, a certain game they will play over and over again and that's it. And then there are those who play a million different things, like me, for example. I do all sorts of different games. This isn't... on this channel I've done just about everything, really, every sort of genre. Sims 4 I have played and I do like it. It is, I guess, a step up from the other Sims games because of course it's more modern, so they have, you know, better graphics and more controls and stuff. But it's sort of that thing of, there are only certain amount of jobs your Sims can do. There's only so many different like house designs or whatever you can come up with, and there are those people who play that for years on end because they do all sorts of different combinations or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I've played most of the Sims games, and I'm not going to say they're not interesting. They were enjoyable to play, but yeah, a year or two or so, and that was it. They're done. Although one thing I don't like is when people will say, like, I don't hate people who do reviews of stuff, but if you're going to do a review of a stuff, make sure you state that this is your own opinion, and of course everyone is entitled to their own. Because if you say the game's terrible because of this, and this, it's like, you may think it is, but that doesn't mean that other people share that opinion with you. Because of course, there are things I'm interested in that other people see as stupid or boring or whatever, but then of course I enjoy it. Like me and a few of my friends, we are, fans of anime, watching it, playing games about it, whatever, but then there are people who just think that is boring and stupid and, that we're sort of weird when we're nerds and all that, but whatever. And I don't mind so much, playing things that other people enjoy that I don't, because, if they do something with me, then it's only fair that I do it in return. But again, don't complain about something else someone else likes if they're willing to do something for you. It's only fair that they do something for you, you do something for them. So... And of course, like, I have said this before, but the whole thing is I do, like, I will ask what kind of games people like, because, for example, Borderlands 3 was, it wasn't very interesting for some people, and not many people enjoyed watching it, but of course, that was a game I did enjoy playing to a point, but even I got a little bored, I will admit. And of course they did release DLCs every now and then, and that was cool and all, but I just think it's sort of a lot of games these days in general, and there are a few exceptions, but in general these days, there are many games that just get rushed, and then of course that means that the end result isn't as good as everyone was hoping for. And I think this does create a lot of problems, because, there are plenty of games which, if, the time had been put in and the effort had been put in, instead of rushing it to get it out in time for, say, Christmas or the release of a brand new console or whatever, then they would be a lot better, because of course, they would have put in the time and the effort, and of course it will take longer, probably cost more money, but the end result will be better, and in turn that will make you more money, and more people will enjoy playing it. So, these days it's sort of a quantity over quality situation when it comes to games, and this harms, all sorts of different franchises, because then people get a sort of tainted view of it when it's sort of just the impatience of the benefactors that has caused the game to drop in quality. And I will say this, because, you know, there's no harm in telling you, but I am going to do a course at college on character design for games, so, you know, that's drawing characters and, you know, environments, landscapes, all that sort of thing. So, you know, because of course games is something I'm interested in as well as design, so being able to come up with character designs and stuff like that would certainly be something of interest, so... Yeah, because I mean, some people enjoy playing games but wouldn't enjoy making them, because of course when you're making a game you don't play it, you create it, so you put time and effort into coming up with the story or designing graphics or whatever, or if you're like one of the voice actors or whatever, of course, then recording all the dialogue and everything, and that isn't as interesting for some people. But I mean, I would love it, because of course then if you are drawing like the characters, coming up with the designs and everything for them, then the characters will look how you want them to look, and of course you will have to follow, you know, certain advice or whatever, you know, since you can't just come up with whatever you want. But of course it's up to your imagination to come up with what they look like based on the information you're given. Or, for example, let's say you're on the writing staff, so you write the plot of the game, then to an extent you can decide how it will turn out. Of course you won't be the only person in the room, so you can't just be an absolute dictator and just decide what everything's going to look like. But if you have a say in how it turns out, then you will probably like the result more, because, you know, you have put your own creative ideas. Because this might just be me, but when it comes to games, I always sort of imagine what it would be like if I was in it, or I had a say in it and stuff like this, you know, where how could I have changed the outcome? And, you know, you can just imagine that, say, you fought with the main character or whatever, so you saved a character who usually dies that everyone likes, you saved them. Just as an example, The Last of Us Part 2, Joel's death, I think, is what made so many people hate the series, because, you know, one of the best main characters of a game, you know, a guy who had actual story and you could actually feel for him, so people liked him for that. You know, great guy and great character, and obviously, you know, everybody liked him, but then, of course, he died. You know, he got killed off by who was supposed to be, I guess, a likable character, but turned into an absolutely hated, you know, because she was supposed to be one of the main characters, was Abby, but then people hated her because she killed Joel, so then everyone hated her. So you're supposed to spend like half the game playing as her and, you know, sympathizing with her for all the pain she's going through or whatever, but then most people don't, because, well, she killed Joel, so they don't really care about how she feels or whatever, because one of their favourite characters is dead because of her. So it has that sort of effect on it, that, you know, a bad choice in writing, so killing off a beloved character, has led to many people hating the game, and personally, I don't hate it. I do like The Last of Us, and Part 2 had many different interesting, you know, controls and stuff like that that was interesting and cool, and I loved seeing in it. But I just think that Joel's death made the game less likable, because the first one I have played 10, 15 times probably by now. I have played it a lot, but it isn't. But then that's a game you can play over and over again. But then Part 2 isn't that. You know, I can't play it several times. You know, I've played through it once on my own, and I've been doing videos of it once on my channel. but I can't do it a third time or anything. I just, once I've, you know, completed it, that is gonna be it. I'm done. And I've just realised that, you know, I've been rambling for ages now, so apologies. And undoubtedly you'll say it's fine, no problem, because you're nice, but, you know, you can tell me to be quiet. I do talk a lot. I am more than willing to admit that I struggle to shut up. And not everybody appreciates someone who uses their mouth more than anything else. Yeah, I'm just... I just appreciate someone to talk to. You know, it's nice to be able to play and talk to someone. Because if, you know, I'm just here on my own, it can get boring. Just sitting here in absolute silence playing through. Yeah, well, I'm the sort of person, well, I mean, when I'm playing on my own, I am obviously sat in absolute silence on my own. But, I mean, it's sort of nice to have someone to talk to, especially when you're playing something you've already played before, I guess. Because, you know, it's nice to just have someone to talk to and spend time with or whatever. Because, especially, you know, if you're playing on a game where it's just really slow, you know, having a friend or whatever makes it bearable. Yeah, well, I mean, if I'm honest, you're probably more of a polite person than I am, because I'll talk a lot and not shut up, and it can be annoying. Yeah, well, I mean, that's, you know, not really something you can be blamed for, because, you know, if you don't speak English, then you can't be expected to speak English for hours on end. You know, if it's not your first language. But then again, you know, obviously you don't want to speak your own language, because if people don't understand what you're saying, then they'll not enjoy it. But, I mean, I wouldn't mind you speaking in Polish or anything, that'd be pretty cool actually. I just, you know, it's up to you how you do things, and, you know, I talk a lot, and some people like that, some people absolutely hate it, you know, which is, of course, not a problem. And then, of course, some people don't talk at all and do in absolute silence with, you know, sometimes subtitles like you do, or just nothing at all, just absolute silence. And it's just sort of your own preference, you know, it's your channel, so you do it how you want to.
Some kind of sacrifice. We're going to do this. That's it. More thunder? I don't like this. Looks like some Nazi suicide ritual. 5 of them flayed and dead by their own hands. Not pretty.
A Nazi suicide ritual? You sure? Mamma mia.
Bodies are fresh too. It's not recent. Bruno, could these dead Nazis have something to do with the invasions?
Maybe. I'll investigate on this end. Perhaps Schweiger would know something about this Nazi suicide cult.
And
Gun turret right here.
put that in. Job done.
Excellent. Now all that's left is to activate the controls.
Here we go. Here they come.
Keep them away from the controls.
You again. Whoa. Enemy spotted. That's no ordinary zombie.
Nice thing around the side, eh? Sneaky.
It's halfway there. It's almost done. Just a little longer. Mind planted. Got it. Bridge is up.
Fantastico! Molto bene! Now I suggest you get back to the boat before Victor shits himself.
Easy enough.
What the hell took you so long?
The bridge was out. Had to fix it. Oh, and there was a Nazi suicide
afraid not, Victor.
Captain Dutton, come in. This is Carl Fairburn with Alpha Squad. Do you read me? Still no. Whatever's happening up there must be interfering with the signal.
Good thing about Venice, there's just so much water that it just, you know, can't walk.
Don't mention it. Just try not to die, okay?
I'll leave these guys with you, alright? Try not to die, Victor. See you later. Hey guys.
So, this is the base. The fences look strong. Must have taken a lot of dead to breach it.
And safe room. Well, no problem. I'm gonna end the stream here anyway. It's been about an hour, so and I've just got to the save point, so might as well end it here. So pick the right time to go, mate. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you later. I'll be streaming tomorrow, so if you're free, you can jump on about the same time. If not, then no problem. But yeah, I'll see you later. Have a good one.